What is up, Tunettes? Carts and Kevin351 here today with another episode of the Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog, the playthrough of mine. Episode 3, let's continue back to where we left off in the saloon. In the last episode, we escaped the closet, find Sonic pretending to be murdered, and in a very good impression of doing so. I don't know if he was pretending to be murdered, being knocked unconscious by the train, or both. But anyway, we encountered Knuckles in the saloon, and we just finished talking to him. So anyway, let's get out of the... Alright.
Ready to mosey down?
Hold on. Sorry, I had to break wind.
Ready to mosey down to the next car?
Oh, wait, Agnabbit. You got it, partner.
Onwards!
Oh, hang in there. The poor Chow, referencing that poster. We're in the library car. Hey, it's the rookie from Sonic Forces. All this stuff's getting heavy. I'll dump what I don't need.
Everyone's favorite journalist reporter, Amy Rose, is hot on the scoop. I'm heading out. You've been fashionably helpful.
Alrighty, before you go, Espio and I wanted to give you your presents.
My presents? You're both too sweet, thank you.
Vector, it seems we have more guests.
Amy, there you are.
Nah, screw it. Want to join us in finding clues?
Flattered, but at the pace you two are going, Sonic's murderer will never get found.
Oh, she's confident. She must have something up her sleeve.
This tip is just too juicy to ignore. I'll see you all around. Don't worry, Sonic. I'll be the one to avenge you, and quick.
But how are you going to leave? The door to the next car is locked.
Oh, you doubt the birthday girl? The birthday girl has a master key. Right. The birthday girl gets the birthday key.
Of course, it's a birthday privilege.
I'll solve this case before anyone else. Bye.
Amy may be hasty, but she's thorough. Now, what are you two doing? Looking mighty suspicious, I say.
I'm the detective, so I can't be the murderer.
And I'm, just making sure things go well.
Things aren't going great.
Not sure if you've forgotten, but there was a murder. Well, I mean, besides that.
Besides murder?
My social skills non-existent. You know what? That part's actually true. I am an introvert after all.
I'm Vector, the butcher. I'm licensed to handle raw meat.
And I'm Espio, the poet.
Ah, poetry. A resonant message from poet to reader meant to challenge our delicate perspectives with the most rhythmic of prose.
Whatever.
Can I hear some?
Sure. I don't think he's ready. Aw, I love the chows. Teardrops in the spring. Can you hear me sing la 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 dee 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 dee? The first part was actually top notch. The last part kind of sucked though, but I love the chows.
Was that it?
I have more if you like. Cherry blossoms in the spring.
I'm satisfied for now, thanks.
At least he's rhyming, I suppose.
Kevin and I are here to establish both of your alibis. Can you walk us through what happened after Amy had everyone leaving the dining car?
Oh, sure, it's simple. We just explained this to Amy, actually. When we were all set off, Rouge, Blaze, Shadow, and Sonic all passed through this library car, where Amy told me and Espio to stay.
I promptly picked a book off the shelf and made myself comfortable. Vector got bored, so he left to see what Knuckles was up to in the saloon car.
Yep.
Where was Rouge when we happened to see her lipstick stain on a cup at the saloon car?
Rouge came over to the library car, seemingly looking for something. Then she went to search at the saloon car. She came back shortly after. We'd heard her shout, "Oh, no way," at the brochure standing over there. But she left back to the casino car before Shadow came through and locked the door.
Wonder what she found. She's obviously been on the hunt for something.
After Rouge left, Shadow walked through the casino car, then entered the library car and locked the door behind him.
More importantly, why has Shadow been locking doors?
Shadow walked through the library car to the saloon car where Knuckles and I were playing games. He insisted on showing us up at Super Monkey Ball. I got so engrossed by the rolling monkey action I hardly noticed when Shadow left the saloon car. I guess he walked through the library car to the casino car again, locking the door behind him. Then returned to the lounge car where he was meant to be stationed. When Vector came back, he realized Knuckles locked the door to the saloon car. We were stuck in the library car. That's when the train sped up. We were worried about the bookshelves falling on us, but we got through it all right. We sat trapped here until Amy arrived asking questions. She's the one that told us someone murdered Sonic. And yeah, that's all that happened.
With all these locked doors, it seems Vector or Espio couldn't have left the library car or the saloon car.
Thank you both for your cooperation. We're just gonna peek around and we'll return with any questions.
If you return with any meat, I'll chop it up for you. And if you'd like to be serenaded with a poem, I got you covered too.
Thanks, guys. Their alibi seems solid enough, but we should still search for clues. What we're looking for is any evidence that proves what they're saying is true.
We need to confirm Vector's reason for leaving his post and determine if Espio was actually in the library car reading. A tall task, but we can do it. Let's get to the bottom of this, Tails.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna look every nook and cranny this time. A chow hangs precariously from a tree branch. A large text below reads, "Hang in there."
Wow, I really needed to see this.
Huh?
This little chow's hanging there, refusing to use his wings to fly to safety, because choosing the hard way is often the most rewarding. That's beautiful. If this chow can stick to his principles and find strength, then I can too.
There's no way there was that much thought put into this poster, right?
Ooh, brochures! There are travel destinations ideas here, like amusement parks, caverns, hotels, restaurants. Oh! Kevin, look at this. There's a couple of maps here.
This seems to be a map of the library car. The books are categorized by genre, which are listed here.
I love a good overhead map. Let's take it.
Library map added to inventory. Should we take this brochure about a cave? Should we take this brochure about a cave too? Look, there's stalactites.
Nah, leave it.
Oh, haha, yeah, that's fair. Nobody shares my fondness for caves. Since when did I become fond of caves? Library map, an overhead map of the layout of the library, shelves and tables included. Books.
So many books on the ground. I wish we had time to pick them all.
I sadly have no interest in picking up these books.
A lot of these were knocked out by the train speeding up. But Rouge pulled a lot of these out too, searching for something.
What reckless behavior. I feel sorry for the poor books. The spines are creasing. They're opening too far.
This kid feels empathy for everything. Okay, that's the exit. We don't need to go there, but let's click on it just in case.
Shadow supposedly walked through the library car before going into the saloon car. When Shadow left the library car, he locked this door on his way out.
There's gotta be a reason he's doing this. Should we make a note of it?
Yeah, I do believe we should.
Shadow's lock is added to inventory. Robot hand.
Oh, poor thing. That arm is really struggling cleaning up this car.
To be fair, I wouldn't want to clean up all this mess either. Let's just leave it alone and to do its thing.
Yeah, probably for the best.
Table. Let's just take a pause and sit for a second.
These chairs are very comfy, so plush. Puts me right in the mood to read.
Makes me want to take a nap, personally. In fact, maybe I'll rest my eyes for a bit.
Kevin, no, don't fall asleep. There's been a murder, remember?
If I had a ring for every time a murder ruined my nap time. Alright, trash bin. Something's always hidden in the trash. Let's check there.
I hate to say it, but there's nothing here.
Ah, I really thought there'd be something there.
Kevin, are you sad there was nothing in the trash bin?
No, I'm alright.
I'm sure there'll be something hidden in the next trash bin we find.
You really think so?
Yeah. We just gotta stay optimistic.
Yeah, okay. These trash bins hide a secret, I'm sure of it.
Kevin, you're pretty unconventional, but I like that.
Well, was that supposed to be a compliment? Alright, a globe.
A globe of our marvelous planet.
I haven't traveled around much. The islands are fun and all, but I'd love to visit some of the countries. So, a bit of a backstory for me. I was born in Argentina. I moved to the United States in June of 2000. I stayed in Hollywood, Florida for 8 years. Then I moved to Jacksonville, Illinois for 2 years. And then after that, I stayed at wherever I'm staying now, ever since. I can't tell you where I am because I'm a YouTuber, but I will say I lived in... Okay, so I'm living in Florida. Okay, I'll tell you that I'm living in Florida, but I'm not telling you where. But let's just say the heat is unbearable. I just like the cold days there. Also, I've been to Canada, Niagara Falls in Canada to see a friend of mine for Christmas. I've been to 3 summer vacations in Spain to see my dad. And last year I went on vacation in Dominican Republic with my Argentinian family. And that's basically it. I've been to an airport in New York just to get a taxi to Niagara Falls, Canada. I've visited Georgia to see my sister, who was living there at the time. We visited Georgia, Tennessee, and Kentucky on our road trip to Illinois and back. And yeah, that's basically it. I'm supposed to hang out with my sister sometime this year in New Mexico, where she's living to study to become a radiology therapist. And we're visiting my dad in August in Spain. So I can't wait for that. Maybe I'll make a vlog about it on my YouTube channel. Anyway, I'm not telling you where I live. I will give you a clue. I definitely live in Florida. Because I referenced it in my playthrough of Google Championship Island 2022 with Lucky the Cat. And yeah, I don't like the weather there. I like to visit Argentina. I'd personally like to stay home, but if I'm forced to travel the world with somebody, I'd prefer to check out Argentina first to see what my home country is like. Maybe visit Spain again to see my dad. Maybe go to Japan to learn more about Hololive, the VTubers I'm grown fond of. Maybe Brazil, because I watched the cartoon movie Rio and it inspired me to check it out, despite the shadiness of the city portrayed in The Simpsons. But I think I might like to visit Rio de Janeiro in Brazil one of these days, just out of curiosity. I'd like to visit England though too. So I like to stay home, but I'm curious to check out Spain, Argentina, and maybe Brazil and England and Japan. So just out of curiosity, just thought I'd throw that out there.
They're a lot of fun, honestly. Plenty of wonderful people and shops. The food can't be beat either.
Trust me, the candies in Spain are delish. Ah, sounds perfect for a vacation. The conductor was talking about Spagonia. If you've ever been there.
I have actually. If you're ever visiting, be sure to stop at the university and say hi to the Professor Pickle.
Wait, a Professor Pickle? Okay, so I never played Sonic Unleashed at all, actually, but I remember seeing a YouTube video of the Squidward-looking human, and I think Professor Pickle was his name. He's from Sonic Unleashed, the game where Sonic turns into a werehog. I never played it, but I've seen it before, so that's for sure. Tails.
He'll tell you everything about the area and makes one scrumptious sandwich.
The heavy likes a good sandwich. Sandwich makes me strong. I'll keep that in mind, thanks. This group knows everyone and has been everywhere, haven't they? Ooh. Chaos Cola or Chow Cola? Chow's Cola or Chaos Cola? I prefer Coca-Cola. Check out our book club. Book of the month, Gone Gal. Is that a parody of Gone Girl? I never heard of the book, but I heard there was a movie about it. I've seen the trailer. I've seen a commercial about it. Let's check out this book before talking to the others. There's Professor Pickle in the picture. What's this bright red book?
Oh, yuck! This reeks of the evil scientist, Dr. Eggman. Yep, this is Dr. Eggman's autobiography and recipe book.
What kind of recipes?
Who cares? I wouldn't trust any book he's written. It's weird this is even here.
Maybe people just appreciate an omelet?
You may not be wrong.
I don't like eating eggs. I only like the yolk part. And I just like dipping stuff in yolk. I don't like the white part. I just like the yolk, especially when you dip bread or bacon in it. It tastes delicious. You should try it sometime, folks. My mom taught me how to make eggs sunny side up. I don't like scrambled eggs too. I don't like eating them, but I remember one of my stepdad's relatives teaching me how to make scrambled eggs. He didn't show me, he just taught me how to do it, and I figured it out on my first try. I wonder if I still remember how to do it. There's Mr. Professor Pickle. Alright, the bookshelf.
Wow! I wish I could stop and look at all these books! But Sonic needs me. No time to rest.
Alright, let's move on then.
Well, I mean, a little peek wouldn't hurt.
He's scavenging through all the book titles excitedly. He's like a kid in a candy shop, or in this case, a genius in a train library.
That's odd. I know some books have fallen out on the floor and everything, but every book on these shelves is in alphabetical order, but this one.
The Mirage Express Manual.
It's the user guide to the Mirage Express, the train we're currently on.
Do you think someone found it on the ground and put it back?
Maybe, but it is interesting. Let's make a note of this.
Mirage Express Manual add to inventory.
I think we found enough clues. Let's go interrogate Vector and Espio to find out what really happened.
I want to talk to Vector first, because I like him better than Espio.
Did you bring me any meat to chop? I may be a butcher, but they confiscated my meat cleaver before getting on the train.
You actually tried to bring a knife on the train?
I'm a man of authenticity. Tails, without a knife, I'm just a chef in a ketchup-stained apron, not a butcher.
I think if you had a knife on you, we'd definitely think you were the murderer.
But what if I hid the knife?
You know, I'm not the biggest fan of this line of thought.
Alright,
Nothing like cold cuts for a cold case. Let me know if you need any good butchering.
let's talk to Espio.
Fancy a poem?
Oh, okay. Can I get a poem about space?
I've made it up to
Espio, I love the chows!
I've made it up to space with my beloved anti-face, but a mistake in my haste dropped the vase from my embrace. So my antique I must now replace.
What caused you to drop the vase?
Don't read too deeply, it's just a poem.
He hasn't thought of it through, has he?
Very well.
Alright, Vector. Start interrogation.
So,
the two of you don't believe us, eh?
it's not that I don't trust either of you, but I wouldn't be a proper detective without examining the validity of your alibis. Kevin and I are here to confirm two things. Why Vector left to go play games with Knuckles, and if Espio really was reading in the library car.
Vector, we'll start with you. Why did you leave the library car to visit Knuckles? We're prepared to present evidence if need.
Oh, that's easy. I got bored. What?
I wasn't entertaining him enough, it seems. Vector enjoys being social.
Plus, we were instructed to mingle. I remember the arcade machine in the saloon car, so I figured I'd go check it out.
This seems to line up with the information we gathered with Knuckles.
Then that brings our attention to you, Espio. Rouge entered the library car, found something, then left. You said you immediately started reading, but were you actually reading the entire time you were in the library car?
Of course he was. Once Espio starts reading, he doesn't stop till it's done. I've seen it happen.
It must have been a good read. What was the book?
Espio doesn't owe you that, detective. Let the man live. What if it was embarrassing? What kind of things do you think I read?
If you won't talk, I have a hunch on what that book might be. Kevin, could you help me out?
All right, Kevin, what book do we think Espio may have been reading? Library map, an overhead map of the layout of the library, shelves and tables included. Shadow's lock, a lock that supposedly Shadow has been placing on multiple doors on the train. Mirage Express manual, an exhaustive manual of the Mirage Express's many features and capabilities. Doesn't seem to mention how to drive the train, which would have been neat. This one.
A manual? You think Espio was reading instructions? What argument could you possibly have to support this?
40 rings, okay. I swear, these levels are getting easier and harder at the same time. Easier for me to beat, harder for me to master.
There are books scattered around the floor, sure, but the remaining books on the shelves were all in alphabetical order. All except this manual, meaning someone at the very least picked the manual up and put it back in the incorrect place. This lack of attention to detail isn't normally like you, Espio.
Hey now, I won't have you insulting my pal like this.
Calm down, Vector. You know I mean well, but I can handle myself.
Apologies, Espio.
A butcher and a poet. Friendship can form anywhere. That is indeed the book I was reading, the Mirage Express manual. Trains are cool.
In that case, we'd like to ask you a few questions about the manual. Kevin, if you don't mind, could you ask Espio some questions about the manual? Just flip to a page and ask away.
Oh, I see. Quiz Espio about the manual to prove he read it. Which page should I quiz him on? Oh my god. Let's start with page 362. Okay, what efficient and extremely accurate technology was installed to assist in keeping the train spotless? Robotic arms. During events, they can perform a variety of tasks and are responsible for cleaning up trash and messes afterwards. I remember the conductor saying the train can clean itself, though I have a feeling the train company just didn't want to hire any janitors. The robotic arms can also detect weapons or explosives being brought onto the train, ensuring passenger safety.
Seems like Espio aced that question, Kevin. Hit him with another one.
Okay, which page do I choose? Alright, we're going backwards. Page 231. What is the Mirage Express's cancellation policy? No refunds and you will be charged a no-show fee. No refunds and you will be charged a no-show fee. This does not apply if you're over the age of 65. Gee, the person who made this rule must have been over 65.
Last one, Kevin. Let's see if Espio can go 3 for 3.
Gotcha. Which page should I pick last? 402. What was implemented to support the conductor duties and ease general train obligations? An intelligent data processing system. It works in tandem with the conductor to ensure smooth travel for guests. I remember this. The train has an autopilot, but it can't access its full suite of capabilities without the conductor present. Now, did I pass all your little test? Uh-oh, I wasn't paying attention, I was just reading. I don't think Espio mentioned an autopilot. I'm gonna save here in case I make a mistake. I'm gonna say no for now. What if I'm wrong? I hate to say it, but no. Just goofing, you passed. I completed your test with ease. All my efforts were only to please, but you joked and gaped, said no to my face. Now I wish you were riddled with fleas. Did he just rhyme a curse at me?
You've clearly read the manual. Those answers feel far too specific to be guesses.
And you both had the nerve to question my buddy like that? Don't we want to be supporting folks who read? You have to admit though, reading the entire time a murder occurred does sound a bit suspicious, even if true. But he answered all my questions so calmly. That's very impressive. No, I understand everyone's cautious attitudes. Vector was the only one to see me reading after all. My alibi is hard to substantiate despite being the truth. Well, you definitely read through the manual, so I suppose we can...
Espio, is that true? Vector was the only one to see you reading.
Yes, that's correct. Problem?
Frankly, I don't believe that can be true, and we have evidence to back it up. Kevin?
He always puts me on the spot. Okay, Kevin, think. What should we piece of evidence link to someone who's also saw Espio reading, but what? Probably let's just, since I'm assuming I'm getting this wrong, let's just randomly guess Shadow's locked, because Shadow locks the doors, so he must have passed by Espio. Maybe he noticed him reading? Shadow's lock. Please, pray tell, what this has to do with anything?
We're up, Kevin. Let's get our argument together.
I think I chose the right one. That one was tricky.
Shadow walked through the library car to get to the saloon car, where he set the original high score on the arcade machine.
Yeah, but I ended up beating it. It wasn't the high score long. Crocs are natural gamers.
Espio said he saw Shadow enter the library car, but he's mentioned nothing about Shadow's return. He only mentioned that Vector came back. When Shadow left Knuckles and Vector in the saloon car, Espio was fully seated reading his book for a good while at this point. We know Shadow had to walk back through the library car when he left the saloon car, so there's absolutely no way Shadow and Espio didn't notice one another on Shadow's return trip.
I mean, it was a simple slip-up. I was just fully immersed in my book that I didn't notice Shadow.
You're telling me the sound of doors opening and locking wouldn't have caused you to look up?
Well, you see, I can sense Espio's desperation here. Defending the argument that he was reading the entire time isn't easy.
So if you didn't see Shadow returning from the saloon car to lock all the doors, then at that moment you were really in the library car. Were you really in the library car at all?
But how would Espio leave? Shadow locked all the doors and no one saw Espio in the saloon car.
It's a mystery, my dear Kevin. One that I would love for Espio to solve.
You gotta believe me. That cool demeanor is vanishing. I was so involved with my book that I didn't notice Shadow pass back through the library car, honest. When Vector returned, he even had to tap me on the shoulder to get my attention.
Yeah, I think I remember doing that.
I must avenge my friend's death. So I'll ask you again, Espio. If you weren't there for Shadow to see you reading, then how did you leave the library car?
I wasn't. I didn't. Why doesn't this seem right to me? Tails definitely feels like he's on to something, but I don't see it. Was Espio simply sitting reading? Or did he somehow vanish to not notice Shadow return to the library car? What should I do? I believe in Espio. But considering he's a ninja and I saw him turn invisible in the... Okay, I played Sonic Heroes in Spain on my dad's PlayStation 2, so I know Espio is a chameleon, he can turn invisible. I know Espio's telling the truth, but I gotta join Tails on this one. No, I can't interrupt Tails while he's onto something. I'll let him continue this line of questioning and...
Kevin, my favorite and beloved employee, please, protect the passengers aboard this train. They must be taken care of. If you fail, the lawsuits will be torturous. Don't allow such an old feeble soul to get sued.
I don't remember him saying that. I have to make sure our guests are taken care of. I have to speak up. Tails! We have a piece of evidence that can answer all of our problems.
Alright, my fellow associate, lay it on me. What piece of evidence shows Espio and Shadow couldn't have seen one another?
Library map. Alright, now let's get my thoughts in order. I have to admit, that one was easier and scarier. The
library map? Oh, I see.
See the exits? They're right across from one another, a straight path. If Shadow walked down this straight path, there is a way Espio and Shadow couldn't have seen each. If Shadow walked down this straight path, there's a way Espio and Shadow couldn't have seen one another.
Looks like you'll have to point out where exactly on the map you mean. Where could Espio have been for Shadow to not see him?
How about here? Interesting. That's where I was sitting reading my book.
I can second this. When I returned from the saloon car, Espio was in that same spot.
That confirms it then. You see Shadow and Espio couldn't have seen one another from this spot. Because a bookcase is in the way.
There's no way Shadow could have seen Espio or vice versa.
It makes a lot of sense why you never mentioned Shadow's return, Espio. There's just no way you would have seen him.
I apologize for losing my cool back there. I felt like I was grasping despite telling the truth, but I'm glad you all believe in me now.
Your alibi isn't the most alright, but I have no further points. Thank you both for answering all of our questions.
We did it! Another pair of alibis validated. Too many locked doors to worry about, but I'm glad everything straightened itself out in the end.
Well, I'm exhausted. I'm gonna crash here for a bit. These chairs are so comfy.
Likewise, I could use a breather.
Sadly, our work isn't done. I have plenty of questions for Rouge and especially Shadow.
Oh, it seems the door to the next car is open. Amy must have kept it open when she passed through earlier.
Then that's our cue to leave. See you later, Vector and Espio.
Give 'em heck! And if you need any meat chopped up, say the word.
I'll keep my poetry shut for you both. A murderer is on the loose, while doors keep getting locked. Tick-tock, tick-tick-tock goes the clock, while our heroes are in the caboose. At this point, I'm feeling pretty confident in our detective abilities. We're really doing this.
Come on, Kevin, let's see what's next.
Coming! Alright, so in the next video, we're gonna see what the others are up to. And I think, wait, what's coming up next? Let's see. So we're on our way to the casino to see Rouge and Blaze in the next episode. So until then, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, give it a like and leave a comment. And if you want to see more, hit subscribe, ring the bell. So until next time, that's not all, folks. I'll see you in the next one. Just let me save. There we go. So long, everyone. Peace.